Hello everybody, I am back again with the part 2 video lecture of macroeconomic concepts and variables. Perhaps you remember that in our previous class we discussed about some important macroeconomic concepts and variables. Today we are going to discuss the remaining concepts and variables. So let us start. Identity and equations. A relationship which is assumed to be true by its definition is said to be an accounting relationship or an identity. For example, saving may be defined as an excess of income over consumption. Similarly, income may be defined as the sum of consumption and investment. Whatever be the magnitude of the variables involved, given in this definitional relationship, there must be an identity between saving and investment. I mean, we can write saving is equal to income minus consumption. Similarly, income is equal to consumption plus investment. That is why saving is equal to investment. Okay. On the other hand, the behavioral relationship or behavior relationship embody the statements of market behavior. These are not mere truism but are rather more meaningful in the sense that these are proved true or disproved through empirical investigation and testing. They postulate some hypothesis about economic behavior of the consumers, investors, of the market or the entire system. The behavioral relationship may be expressed in the form of an equation and may be denoted by the symbol, the sign equal to. Thus, the distinction between identities and equations points to the fact that identities hold whatever magnitudes of the variables and cannot be tested by empirical investigations. The behavior relation or equations on the opposite are the propositions about the economic behavior which can be tested by empirical observations, either directly or via predictions derived from them. Okay. Time series and cross section. If the data concerning a particular variable are obtained from a specific entity continuously period after period, say a year, months or weeks, they constitute a time series. For example, the National Income Committee in India estimates the national income of the country from year to year. It has been formed a time series of national income data right since 1948-49. Similarly, the Office of Economic Advisor, then Government of India, publishes weekly the wholesale price index numbers. Over a long period, these weekly indices of prices constitute a time series. Any analysis or prediction based on a time series data is denoted as time series analysis. Now, what is cross-section data or what is cross-section analysis? The cross-section analysis is based on the data obtained from different subdivisions, cross-section of the society at the same time. These cross sections may be consumers, may be producers, workers, firms, industries, or certain geographical regions. Suppose government imposes new taxes, the reactions of the people to these taxes can be analyzed by undertaking cross-sectional analysis. So let me change the slide. Now I would like to speak on ex ante and ex post. Ex ante and ex post are the Latin terms meaning beforehand and afterwards respectively. The terms were prominently introduced in economic literature by the Swedish school of thought. Ex ante variables like saving, investment, income, production, and consumption refer to their estimates at the beginning of a specific period. Thus, in ex ante sense, these variables are in the planned, desired, expected, or intended sense. The amount of savings, investments, incomes, production, and consumption. In the ex post sense means that the actual magnitudes of these variables at the end of a specific period. Thus, in the ex post sense, these variables are actual, realized, or observed. Since the ex ante and ex post magnitudes of the variables are related to the estimates at the beginning and at the end of specific period, there is no necessary coincidence between the two. The actual, exposed values of the variables may diverge from the planned, ex ante values of the variables. It is for this reason we state that ex ante savings and investment are not equal, but these are equal in the ex post sense. The ex ante savings and ex ante investment can become equal if plans of savers and investors fully coincide with each other. The concept of equilibrium is very important in economics, and equilibrium implies such magnitudes of variables which do not permit any departure of the economic system from a specific position. As a matter of fact, the opposite forces are so neatly balanced, there is no tendency on the part of a system to move either in one direction or the other direction. Let me give you an example. When we discussed in equilibrium in market, the two main instruments or tools are demand and supply. As we know that demand curve is downward sloping and supply curve is upward sloping, where both are equal or the curves cut each other, that is defined as equilibrium point. Why? Because there is balance in between demand and supply. Next slide. The concept of lag or lagged variable is very important. The macroeconomic problems have been analyzed either in terms of instantaneous adjustments or the lagged adjustments. In the study of continuous adjustment, the rates of change of the variable are in such that normal or equilibrium relations, that the adjustments take place instantaneously and the equilibrium is never disturbed. In the period analysis, the different economic variables pertain to different time periods. As the magnitude of one of the variables changes, the equilibrium gets disturbed. Sometimes intervals must elapse before a harmonious adjustment takes place among the different variables. The time interval requires for adjustment is called or may be called as lag or time lag. In economics, we study consumption or expenditure lag, then production lag, then earning lag, then administrative lag, and wage price lag, etc. For example, YT is the dependent variable. YT means income at the time period T. Then YT minus 1 will be a lag dependent variable with a lag of 1 year. I hope you could follow this concept. Now we have to learn what is injection. Actually, injections are the amount of money that are added to the circular flow of income in an economy. Injections increase the size of the income flow. Injections consist of investments, which is denoted by I, then government expenditure, which is denoted by G, and finally X, that means exports. So finally the equation becomes I plus G plus X. Like the concept of injection, concept of withdrawal or leakage is also important. What is withdrawal? Actually, withdrawals are the amount of money which are withdrawn from the flow of income. They are also termed as leakages because withdrawals or leakages reduce the flow of income in the economy. Mainly 3 items are members of withdrawals. For example, savings, S, which is denoted by S, then T stands for taxes and M stands for imports. So finally the equation becomes S plus T plus M. Okay. With this, I would like to conclude this video lecture session. If you have any question or query, please feel free to send to me. I will be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much. Have a good time.